Hello, this is Dr. Anthony Basiel, and we're going to talk a little bit today about the literature review. Our agenda is quite packed, so get ready for a fast ride. We're going to start off about the general process, then we're going to focus in on the key words, take a look at how a literature review is not just a report summary, but you must justify what you're saying. We'll also look at the thematic review, the different themes that you'll analyze. We'll compare the research and then triangulate. We will be able to triangulate the data. And then we'll talk about research methods next time. So let's go. The process is going to start with your research title, the keywords, and your research question, or your starting proposition. This might be a hypothesis if it's an experiment, or you might have an open-ended question for your research title as a null hypothesis. So from that, you've got a starting point. You're saying that A, B, and C may be true. Then you need to have the keywords for that. The next stage is to take those keywords for your literature search. So you've got your title and your research question, and you want to pull the main words for your searching to get evidence to support your research question or your proposition. And we want you to use all kinds of media. So it can be print, and here's quite a few samples. It can be electronic, or it might be that you get some contact with the experts from the different literature that you've read. It can even be live events such as exhibitions, lectures, or conferences. So it's important to understand the difference. We are not looking for a book report. We don't want you to just tell us what the authors say or what the key themes are. We want you to take those key themes and then tell us the pros and cons. What can you take out of that and apply it to your report? Well, we're going to have a look at an approach called a thematic review. And what this means is you're going to need to take information out of these different literature sources, and you're going to need to code it somehow. You need to either give it numbers or letters, some way that you can put it in a word table and then link it to a reference. One of the ways I'm recommending is to use the sort feature in Word to organize and group your themes and keywords. Let's take a look at that in an example. Here you see a table that has several main starting points. You can download this sample Word document from Google Drive or Google Docs at the link at the bottom of the slide. But here you can see that I've read a book from Joe Blogs, and I've made a note about a comment that they've had. And then there was another comment that they made that I put in a subsection. There's another theme in part 2 with a comment, and then part 3 is another main section. Now, how does this table summarizing my literature review link to my title and research question? Well, in this example, my project title is Does a Financial Bonus, which is number 1, the first question, the first comment that I had, motivate employees, the second part, to perform better, the third part. So in this sample, theme 1 could be any research found on the topic about business bonus strategies. And in the second part, I find business models and procedures used to motivate staff. Then lastly, I need to define what I mean by better performance in the context of this report. The second theme column is optional. You can use it if you have a subtopic, such as non-financial incentives or sales commission. As I read or find new literature on these topics, I'll add more rows. So I just keep adding more down the table. To do that, I highlight the row, I select Insert, row below, and then I'll have my table filled with many topics. I can then group those topics using the table sort function. This varies based on the version of Word that you have. Let's take a look. So, an important warning. Make sure before you start sorting anything that you save the original and then use the next version. That way, if anything goes wrong, you still have the original. You won't lose any data. Here are a couple links for Word 2010 or Word 2013 so that you can see how to actually sort the data using word tables. So for example, here we're saying that you can sort the theme for your literature review by clicking on the topic number, and then that column, you will sort it from 1, 2, and 3. Another way to do it is by clicking on the column for the author and then sorting that in alphabetical order so that you can have your literature review ready to put into your report. You can also use Excel spreadsheets to do a similar function. So now you've done your literature review. When you started out, you said that based on your proposition or based on your research question, you believed that A, B, and C would happen. But, for example, in this case, your literature review only found that A and B were true. You did not have any evidence for C. Where does that take us? We want to be able to get some other data from your research project. This is what we call triangulation. So, you have your original research question, which says you believe that A, B, and C will be true. Your literature review shows that really only A and B can be supported by evidence. And then you're going in the next stage to actually do your project, generate some data, which will then support your initial research position and the literature. So in this case, we can see the project data that was collected only supports B's proposition. So in this case, when you make your conclusions and your recommendations, you would be pushing forward that B is the best way for the company to go. Right. Well, that's it for research literature review. And next time we'll be meeting on Mondays again. And Wednesdays are open. If you have any questions, contact me by email. Remember, put in the subject header, project student, your name and student number. And we'll be looking next time at research methods. And I hope that you really enjoy that. Thanks very much. We'll talk soon. Bye now.